I also appreciate a good lunch. How about growing up? Did you guys appreciate a good home-cooked lunch that you took to school, like leftovers, or maybe mom popped a sandwich in a bag, or did you guys buy your school lunch?
I was a Lunchable kid.
Lunchable, okay.
I remember my dad made my lunch one time. Well, he used to try to make it, but the one time that we got into it, and I was in elementary school, he would put a lot of mayonnaise on my sandwich, and I just wanted you to put the mayonnaise on the bread and scrape it off, so it's just a hint. And I went to school, bit the sandwich, and mayonnaise was dripping off, so I came home and yelled at him. He was like, make your own lunch then. And then he stopped making my lunches. Kenny Stradwick.
Kenny Stradwick.
Papa Kenny.
Make your own lunch.
Teach you some independence. How about you, Dina?
Yeah, so I always wanted the Lunchables, but my mom said, way too expensive, not going to happen. So I got one Lunchable once a month, and I usually preferred the pizza one.
Pizza lunch.
But no, my mom typically made me a lunch when I got into the later elementary, middle school years.
Yeah.
Or I helped make it, but in the very early stages, I remember buying school lunches a lot. I think it was a mix. I think it was a mix for us. But back then, the school lunches were not quite as healthy. And so my mom was sure to make sure that when I got home, it was lots of broccoli, tons of veggies, making sure I got all the food groups, because school lunch, when I ate it, was like the pizza with the little black container and all the holes in the top of the plastic, the little cellophane cover thing, and a milk. And I hated milk, and I hated oranges. So anytime they gave you the milk and the oranges, I would try to trade it with another kid at the table.
Wow. You know, it's really strange. I don't have a lot of memory when it comes to my lunches. Up until recently, up until this job, I have never really packed a lunch. To me, eating during the day, I was so involved in so many activities, and there was always food around. Like, you go into ASB and there was like some sort of, I don't know, people brought food, or there was some sponsored thing. If I did eat lunch or use money to purchase lunch, it wasn't really a full-on lunch. It was like Cheetos and hot Cheetos, if I might add
this was in high school, though,
and
not when
cranberry
you were a
juice.
kid.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, I don't recall. The DoD, Department of Defense Education, growing up in Alabama and Georgia, I don't recall. I don't know. It must not have been that memorable. I don't think mom and dad made my lunch. But anyways, the reason why we're talking about this is because there's a huge difference between what we're eating here in the States and what other students are eating in different parts of the world. So we're going to take you through this little adventure, right? So in Brazil, a typical school lunch can be a pork dish with some veggies, black beans, rice, salad, and baked bananas. Do we have pictures of any of these, by the way? Because it's really visual when you see this.
I hope we do. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so right there to the right side of your screen. Okay, let's talk about France now.
That looks delicious.
It does look good.
In France,
I have that every day.
Me too.
These school lunches consist of steak, carrots, green beans, cheese, and fresh fruit.
That big hunk of brie cheese.
Emphasis on fresh fruit. Yes,
But
that is
the cheese
brie
every
there.
day, though, that's too much.
The cheese every day, every
It's a
meal.
cultural thing.
That
Right?
every day, though?
Growing up, I think I had a tortilla every day. A tortilla. Whether it be just warmed up or flipped or fried.
Or with a little cinnamon sugar.
Or cinnamon.
And some butter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love
How'd
that.
you know?
My mom used to make me that.
Wow. Okay, Greece. Really colorful plate filled with baked chicken over rice, stuffed grape leaves,
Yeah, that
of
looks
course,
good, too.
The grape leaves.
oranges,
Look
some
how pretty that
Dina loves
looks.
oranges.
Greek yogurt. But they're saying that that's actually the presentation, or this is just them presenting
And as
it?
we say these, let us know if your kids would eat any of the other world lunches, because I'm curious.
How about in Finland? This is what they eat. Kids usually enjoy pea soup. Not a lot of kids enjoy that, so this is cool. Carrots, bread, and a dessert pancake. I love the dessert pancake. When you first said that, because we covered this on Morning Blend, I was like, wait, that looks like a crepe.
Yeah.
It's a crepe. It's a crepe. I would eat that one.
Is it pancake or a crepe?
It's a pancake.
It's a crepe.
Can we show off here in the U.S. how our lunches look? And when it's perceived, at least, by other countries. Yeah, look at that. A bunch of chicken nuggets.
Of course.
Mashed
That's
potatoes. Is that a cookie on the top left?
Of course,
Yes,
it's the
it
chicken
is.
nugget.
Is that fresh fruit, or is that a cup of peaches?
That's a cup of peaches with the starchy peach juice,
Sugar.
and the thing.
Super sugary.
Okay,
Of
listen, I love
course.
me a chicken nugget with some sweet and sour sauce, but I don't know if that's even how my lunches looked growing up, or at
Listen,
least my friends.
There's not even any seasoning on those mashed potatoes. Can we talk about the mashed potatoes? Like, at least
But does
put a
it
little
surprise
seasoning
you?
on top of those with some garlic
We know
butter
the
or
last
something.
administration, the Obama administration, we had our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, who was all about, remember, turn up for what? She had her whole campaign about implementing healthy food into our kids' daily routines, because that's so important. And it's a little different now. But what do you feel about the school lunches? What do your kids' lunches look like? Do you trust what they're eating is good for their body? And what are you doing about it?
And I know a lot of times people say a fed kid's a good kid, because sometimes your kids just don't eat meat. They will not touch certain things. So are you one of those parents who says, you know what, if I can just get my kid to eat a grilled cheese sandwich, then that's what they're getting, and if they won't eat the veggies, that's fine as long as they're eating? Or are you one of those parents who says you cannot leave the table until all the greens are done? My mom growing up said that she never had a problem with me eating my vegetables. I never wanted dessert. I wanted seconds on broccoli.
I was the same.
And chicken.
Who are you?
I wanted, my mom would make food, and we would have leftovers, and I would go into their room and I would be like, can I have some more food?
Yeah.
And I would want a little piece of cornbread. I would want the little piece of roast and like potatoes. I wanted little,
whole meal,
like a small little meal instead of the snack.
Wow, you guys are
But I think it's about teaching your kids healthy eating habits. So let's say your kid only eats grilled cheese, or they just like cheese sticks or something like that.
Yeah.
As long as they're aware of what's healthy and what good food is about, then I think that's a positive. Because at the end of the day, it's harder to teach yourself as a grown woman or a grown man how to eat right than it is to kind of have that idea starting when you're younger.
And it goes back to being able to afford healthy food.
True.
I did a story on a local school here, and most of the schools, most of the students rather at this particular school were on free and reduced lunches. I think it was like 85% or more of the students were on free and reduced lunches. And so a lot of these kids didn't even know what veggies looked like, because that's not what is most affordable for their families. So this group is going to some of these schools, and if you want more information, you can send me a note here in the comments. And they are setting up gardens for the students, where the students get to build their own garden and then grow their own fruits and veggies and eat it there, so that they know what it looks like and they're more inclined to eat it, which I love.
It's a great idea.
I mean, and not to say that if you didn't eat well growing up, and I mean well as in like healthy or really paid attention to it, or your parents did, that you can't change, because I am one of those that has completely changed. I mean, my husband Caesar is all about a fit kid, means that the parents are doing their due diligence and making sure that their kid isn't overeating or eating right. We don't have kids yet, but at least for us right now, we're trying to implement that so that when that time comes, it's easier for us to show by example. And so this is the best I've ever eaten. You know, just for my parents, it was just we had like 5 main dishes. It was tacos, enchiladas, taquitos. We had the chicken and tortilla and rice and a lasagna. My mom makes a killer lasagna. I appreciated that growing up. I turned out okay, but here I am now eating more fruits and veggies than I ever have before, thanks to NorCal and the farmers markets.
Yes, and Kimberly Morgan, my kids are fruits and veggies kids. I'm so happy.
Good.
Happy for you, Kimberly. That's awesome.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Make it a good one. It is Wednesday. You're over the hump right about now. Watch Gina Comfort. She is live in how many minutes? 15 minutes at 9 a.m. on your TV screen.
Yeah, you got to watch the TV.
Don't go cutting the cord just yet. You got Dina coming up. All right, see you guys tomorrow morning as well, 5 to 7 a.m. right here on ABC 10 on TV for the Morning Blend. Bye, guys.